Joining us now is Okpe, with stories trending around the world.
You're not tired.
You didn't allow me to finish.
No, I couldn't hold myself. I thought you were going to go off singing. Good morning, Dr. Abati.
Good morning.
Good morning. He just keeps cracking me up, doesn't he? Yes. How are you this morning, Rufai?
Yeah, I wanted to sing a certain song. You
no, keep it. Don't worry, keep it for Friday.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Well, all right. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In Kenya, President William Ruto has explained why he disbanded the Special Service Unit of the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. Speaking at a Thanksgiving service, Ruto, who came to power in September, said that the unit had been turned into a militia used to execute Kenyans and was responsible for the unexplained deaths of citizens whose bodies were recovered from the infamous River Yala.
We have also a plan on how to secure this country so that we avoid the shame of Kenyans killed through extrajudicial killings and put in Yala River and other rivers. We're going to secure this country going into the future.
In Nigeria, the National Emergency Management Agency has revealed that about 2.5 million people have been affected by massive flooding, which has killed over 600 persons, submerged several houses, and displaced thousands across the country. It is the worst natural disaster that has ravaged Nigeria in several years. In Bayelsa State, the government says that about 700,000 persons have been displaced in about 300 communities and villages in 5 of the 8 local government areas submerged in water.
We find it difficult to see water to drink. No money to buy water. If you don't have money to afford pure water, then you just collect from here and drink. Like I met one girl this morning. She was complaining that because of this water that she drank, she has stomach, running stomach. So she just bought drugs and she was taking the drugs. So those are the problems we are facing.
Under sports, Real Madrid striker and captain Karim Benzema on Monday won the 2022 Ballon d'Or award. The French striker beat Bayern Munich forward Sadio Mane and Manchester City midfielder Kevin De Bruyne to claim the coveted award during the ceremony held at the Théâtre du Soleil in Paris. Benzema led Real Madrid to their 14th UEFA Champions League title, scoring 15 goals in the competition. While Barcelona captain Alexia Putellas retained the Women's Ballon d'Or, awarded to the best female footballer of 2022. The 22-year-old midfielder, who won the award last year, suffered a knee injury in summer and missed Spain's Euro 2022 campaign.
Last, now everybody go to breakfast.
Finally, under entertainment, Grammy Award-winning artist Burna Boy's self-directed video, Last, from his album Love Damini, which was released in May 2022 on Monday, surpassed 100 million views on mega streaming platform YouTube. The song, which has become one of the most popular on the continent in 2022, now joins his 2018 hit single, Yay, and his 2019 viral beat, On the Low, as songs to have surpassed the milestone.
You go bow for the result, nothing to discuss.
Well, let's begin what's trending. In the wake of reactions from the All Progressives Congress trailing comments made by the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, in which he said that Northerners need someone from the North as president of Nigeria, a video of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, exchanging pleasantries with former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on Monday at the airport lounge in Abuja has gone viral, eliciting reactions from many Nigerians who have urged citizens not to die in politicians' war. The video is coming after Tinubu spoke at an event organized by the Arewa Joint Committee in Kaduna, where he said that the PDP flag bearer should endorse him for the presidency because he supported him when he contested the presidency in 2007.
I'm standing before you saying this. Even my greatest rival today met me with Yaradua. Atiku Abubakar met me with Yaradua. I was one of the youngest, brilliant strategists of late Shehu Yaradua. He was just out of custom that time. asked him to go and read the civil service regulation. They asked him questions. How did you make money? He said, from selling cars. Can you, as a civil servant, involve in other trade and businesses? No. You have attracted disqualification. You don't deserve to compete with others. Drawn inspiration, I've said that. My political history is full of examples of long, abiding support for the North. No Ribadu was on our platform. I've supported Atiku Abubakar in 2007.
Shakapan of the North.
Then, don't blame me if I ask for the payback period. It's payback. Let him endorse me now. Instead of conducting rally around Kaduna, why I'm talking to great people here.
Well, the APC flag bearer came under fire on social media for saying that if elected president of Nigeria, his government will not adhere to global preventative measures against climate change, except the West was ready to fund the cost. Tinubu described climate change as a question of preventing a church rat from eating poisoned Holy Communion. Let's take a listen before we take some reactions.
Oh, the climate change, Prof. It's a question of how do you prevent a church rat from eating a poisoned Holy Communion? That's the way. We are a poor nation. The ban coal will follow. They say firewood, not for fire. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, shine it, and tell the West, if you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. They'll do it.
Well, let's take some reactions. This is from Okpe, who wrote, if it were my brethren and sisters in Islam, they will say he has committed blasphemy and use that opportunity to drink blood in the north. What business has poisoned Holy Communion and rat got to do with climate change? Oga Tinubu, this is blasphemous and we need an apology. Well, Justice wrote, so Tinubu called Holy Communion poisoned. This is an insult to Christians and the Church of God. Or does any church poison its communion? Or is he trying to mock the body and blood of Jesus? Christians all over Nigeria and our most loving, respected Muslims must reject Tinubu. Well, Austin wrote, climate change is the cause of the recent flooding happening all over the country. Crops species are dying off in the north and other factors that are directly affecting us here in Nigeria. And you said you want to wait for funds from the West to comply. May God save us all. Dr. Abati.
Okay, I see the concern of the persons who were saying that A Bola Ahmed Tinubu referring to church rat in connection with Holy Communion. You know, they may find it offensive because religion being a major issue here in Nigeria, talking about poisoned Holy Communion.
Yes.
But every piece of communication should be taken in context. Those who are condemning him, they just took that metaphor and they stopped there. Yes. They did not follow through the remaining part of his thought. It may be an ecclesiastical metaphor, but it is not wrong. Yeah. It is okay. He defines the situation. He went on to explain how he's making a distinction between poor nations and the expectations of the international community. I referred earlier on to the expectations of the international panel on a committee on climate change, a creation of the United Nations Environmental Program, saying that, look, if we go beyond 1.5 degrees centigrade, the world will suffer as a result of climate change, and we have to keep a cap on the level of greenhouse gas emissions. Now, they hold this conference of parties. They call it COP. There was one, the last one was in Glasgow, Scotland. The next one for this year is in Sheikh Al-Hashem in Egypt. And it's the same issues that are discussed. How do you protect our world? Now, I started earlier when we were discussing with Daniel Boala that number one, what A Bola Ahmed Tinubu said yesterday is not different from what Narendra Modi said about this same subject, Indian Prime Minister. It didn't cause any problem. He was saying, look, you have the industrialized world that is responsible for the bulk of greenhouse gas emission must help poor countries. There must be equity. There must be justice. Because when you are talking about climate change, there are other issues. Look at flooding that we are having here. It has implications even for health. For people said, how many of these poor southern countries, have the capacity? And if you want equity and justice in the world, then those countries will need help. That's the basic point he's making. I don't see why it's so difficult for people to understand that. And I pointed out that, look, when President Buhari was at the United Nations General Assembly in September, he devoted about 2 paragraphs to this same subject, saying exactly the same thing in different words. When Vice President Osinbajo visited Washington, D.C., he proposed what he called debt for climate swap. Still on the same issues of, the responsibilities of the international community. All the promises that the industrialized countries made at the COP 27. How many of them have fulfilled the promises? And Tinubu is saying, you ask us, to check the use of fossil fuel. Okay, the people who rely on firewood, what alternative are you giving them? So I think it's fairly straightforward, and we shouldn't split hairs over, things that are not important. Right. Minutiae, as someone told me that word is properly pronounced. The second part, they met at the airport, okay? And they were greeting each other. Each time Atiku said, Jagaban, the Jagaban too will say, Atiku, okay? I think the spirit is okay. Yeah. And you are right, do not die in their war, as the title of the book by Dele Farotime suggests, because at a certain level, the elites, they have how they form their own consensus. They know very well that, this is not really war. Someone will win, someone will lose. But those are referred to as Instagram jurors and the Twitter rats. They are busy losing their nerves, busting a nerve over nothing. Because at a certain level, the people who are in this game, they have their own form of consensus. It may be a consensus that is unacceptable to us, but don't let anybody use you to promote violence or to make enemies when they are making friends amongst themselves. As
we saw at the airport. Well, Rufai, Dr. Abati has described Tinubu's church rat comment as a metaphor. He's not alone. Another Twitter user that I just pulled up here, called Ozzy, said the church rat is used as a metaphor for poverty. Poor as a church rat. Church rat, in the context he used, was to depict the poverty of the third world, non-industrialized nations, which Nigeria falls under. I don't know if you agree with that as well, but a lot of Christians are furious because, as you know, the body of Christ is very holy.
So for me, my father will always say, Rufai, never argue with a superior logic. If a logic is superior, I don't argue it. It is the beginning of stupidity and madness. In this regard, Bola Tinubu has not said anything wrong as regards the state of play with climate change. And I'll prove it to you. Okay. They had COP recently. Dr. Pati, good one on you, for talking about COP and talking about Sharm el-Sheikh and where they're going to have the next one. They had COP recently. All the things they agreed in COP, has the Russian war not changed it? Have they not started using coal again? Are these same Western countries not the highest emitters? Do you want to compare their emission threshold with us here in Nigeria? That's why even the like of Narendra Modi was kicking against them, because India is just starting to industrialize at the pace the West used to industrialize before. So when it fits them, they push a climate change narrative. They said, oh, sign up to this. This is a roadmap. But when Trump got in, we all remember how he brought back the coal industry in America, and they brought about clean coal. We all remember how they brought back fracking. The big conversation is, when are we going to industrialize? Because once you sign up this, but this is not to exonerate us from doing the things necessary, like planting trees. We need to plant more trees. We need to take care of our environment. We need to try as much as possible to have like an eco balance of flora and fauna, which is good for our environment. But the basic argument of the West doesn't hold it with me. Because this same West that pushes this climate change narrative, as the Russian war started and there were shortages, the Germans were first to go open up their coal power plants again to buffer power. And we have not developed at the rate at which they have developed. Our economy is still poor, still backward. So when we start to get production on and we start to emit, and they bring about their narrative, yes, we want clean energy, but it's transitional. There's capacity for clean energy in Nigeria. There's capacity for renewable, solar panels and the likes. I keep making the argument, I don't see why we can't conquer Sambisa in such a way that Sambisa is filled with solar panels to be able to provide electricity to the grid. But do we have the capacity? If the West truly wants, they should meet us halfway. Because what I don't like is the fact that the West tries to act like it's a big brother, but it does that hypocritically. So in this regard, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu wasn't wrong on his logic. I support what he said.
All righty. We shall take another story. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi's courtesy visit to Ahmad Gumi, the Islamic cleric infamous for championing the cause of amnesty for bandits, has elicited several reactions on social media. The former governor of Anambra State and his running mate, Dati Baba Ahmed, visited the cleric at his residence in Kaduna State on Monday, where the duo attended the interactive session organized by the Arewa Joint Committee for presidential candidates, while some Nigerians disappointed by Obi's move after he posted photos of the visit on his official Twitter account, accused the Labour Party flag bearer of building alliances with enemies of the nation. The backlash is coming after the Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, alleged during the same event that Peter Obi ordered security operatives to detain him during the Anambra governorship election in 2013.
In 2013, I went to Anambra State as an official of the APC to witness the by-election for governorship. Your next guest, Peter Obi, was governor. He got me arrested and detained for 48 hours in my hotel room. Now I am the governor of Kaduna State. And he is coming to Kaduna. In addition to the police and the SSS, I have one mechanized division Nigerian army here if I need to arrest and detain anyone. But we are northerners. We are civilized. We don't do things like that.
Well, reacting to El-Rufai's comment, a Twitter user by the name Adetutu Balogun described the Kaduna State governor as a compulsive liar and posted an old video where he confessed to have been arrested by the Secret Service based on orders from Abuja. Let's take a look at that video.
Hotel room to go in to have breakfast, and I was blocked by 3 SSS officials holding AK-47s and threatening me that they have directives from Abuja to restrict me to my room. I said, on what basis? They said, well, that's their directive. I said, well, let me tell you that Nigeria is a democratic country. I have freedom to move, and I intend to move. I intend to go anywhere I want. You can't stop me from going.
Well, Dr. Bati, who do we believe here? at this point, because we have this video where Governor El-Rufai claimed to have been detained by the SSS in Abuja, and then he comes out to talk about Peter Obi detaining him in Anambra State. Okay, let's just run through the items. Yes.
Earlier on, you know, when Ifeni was here, I said I thought it was wrong for Governor Nasir El-Rufai to refer to Peter Obi as, oh, your next speaker, your little god, you know, the clown that did not even know that I'm from Kaduna State and said I came from Katsina. No, that's not good enough. Senator Ogunlewe tried to justify that. That's the way he talks. No, we don't want any form of verbal violence or direct personal attacks or insults. 2, he said he was detained by Peter Obi in 2013. Yes. That was when Peter Obi was leaving. And Willie Obiano was a candidate, and there were by-elections. And it was restricted to his hotel in Okpe. Now, he says he has video evidence that it was Peter Obi that gave the orders. Okay. But the question to ask, did Peter Obi have control over the SSS? The matter went to court. And in 2018, Governor Nasir El-Rufai got judgment in his favor that his detention was unlawful, and that 3, he should be paid 2 million naira as compensation. I don't know whether he got that 2 million naira. 3, Peter Obi, at this same Arewa session, had the opportunity to say that he had no hand in it, and that, you know, Mr. Nasir El-Rufai was making it up. I think that that effectively, you know, settles the matter. But this is political time. You will find politicians taking jabs at each other, but everyone should just act like gentlemen, you know, so that we can, you know, have, you know, a very peaceful, successful exercise.
If you can really comment on Sheikh Ahmad Gumi's picture really quickly.
I mean, the optics on that picture, goodness me, I question a lot, because Sheikh Ahmad Gumi, when you know his antecedent and the things he had said in the past, I totally do not support. And I totally do not think that Peter Obi should be seeing people, you know, like that. He might have his reasons. The reason might be for peace and security, meeting stakeholders, but we all know the stance. But real quickly, I would like to say this. If Nasir El-Rufai really feels that Peter Obi was part of those that asked those authorities to detain him, he took the case to court, right? Why didn't he join Peter Obi in the court case? In that case, that was decided against the DSS. Right. He should have joined Peter Obi in that case and taken Peter Obi to court when he took the DSS to court.
Well, perhaps because Peter Obi at the time had immunity. Immunity. And I don't think that there's anything wrong in Peter Obi going to see Sheikh Ahmed Gumi, Dr. Captain Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. Okay. Right? Well, there's no problem. He's going to lead Nigeria. Okay. And he needs to wants to be Nigerian president. Types of people. He has, if he wins, he has to be president of everybody. Yes. Whether you are a sheikh or you are a pope. Or no, but that's an exaggeration. All right. But he has to be, you know, president of everybody. Thank you very much.
Both of you. Thank you so much for your great analysis as always. Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you tomorrow.